Don't touch the button.
I am Groot?
What kind of feeling?
Okay, there you go. Rocket Raccoon and Baby Groot animated. Hey, don't push the button. That was me.
I am Groot?
Anyway. Okay, so really enjoyed making that, but you know what? I really want to see what the other characters from Guardians would look like if they were cartoons. So here's a few of them. Check it out. Okay, Rocket, Raccoon, and Groot. I love drawing these guys. I've always loved Rocket Raccoon ever since I saw him in the comic book Guardians of the Galaxy. When the comic came out, I didn't really know what to make of the comic. I thought it was cool, thought it was interesting, but I never really bought one. And I gotta be honest, it wasn't until the movie came out that I started really falling in love with these characters. And I love, love, love Groot. I think it's great. You know, he says 3 words only, and even though he was obliterated in the last movie, he comes back as a baby in this movie. It's just, and he's still powerful, which I think is great, because he has these really cool plant powers like Swamp Thing, which is another character I like. Anyway, Rocket, Raccoon, and Groot, you know, I couldn't just draw one pose of them. I had to draw them in another scene, only because their relationship is so great. And what's cool about this one is Rocket has got to be kind of like Groot's big brother. He was his big brother, I guess, in the first movie, but in this movie he's kind of like his dad, because he's like raising a baby. So Baby Groot with the
I am Groot, I am Groot.
And the little voice is just so killer. And I couldn't stop at just one scene. And I decided to animate this scene at the beginning of the video. You'll see that. And I just thought it was a blast. And again, drawing these guys is great. And you look online, there's a million drawings of how Rocket can be drawn. But this is my style, so Rocket and Groot. DRAX, what can I say about him? He's big, he's awesome, and again, a million different ways to draw him, and this was just the version I chose. The interesting thing is I have a space show that I was developing years ago before Guardians ever came out, and I had a villain in it named DRAX, which of course I can't use now because DRAX is obviously more famous than my DRAX. But here's one pose of DRAX, and here's another pose, more of a full body of DRAX. Again, just such a cool character and really fun to draw. Real easy to draw because there's, you know, not a lot of clothing involved, but it's the designs on his body that are really cool and can be very interesting. All right, GAMORA. Had a lot of fun doing her too. Again, the alien skin, tons of hair. You know, coloring this picture was a lot of fun because you kind of got to go with the My Little Pony colors, I think, on her because of the pinks and the greens. And I think making her a cartoon character would be a blast. I mean, I could see her just really, really... I'd love to see a fight with her and Black Widow. I think that'd be kind of cool, you know, because she just is a real tough girl. And, you know, again, very, very slick. Very cool to cosplay GAMORA, too. I see a lot of GAMORAs walking around comic conventions. Not that I go to a ton of comic conventions. I have a life, people. I have a life. I don't go to all the comic conventions, but when I do go, I see these costumes, and very, very cool. So here we go, GAMORA. Okay, next up is Nebula, and I really enjoyed drawing Nebula. I think she looks pretty cool, but I gotta be honest, wasn't one of my favorite characters in the movie. I thought she was a little boring. I thought she could have been a lot more malicious. I think her body could have done more because it's robotic. I think they could have done more with that. But again, there's so many effects going on in the movie, you don't really know. But she's a blast to draw, and here she is, Gamora's evil sister, Nebula. Both daughters of Thanos. I mean, if Thanos is your dad, you know, imagine him driving you to school. So let's say, okay, let's say you're Thanos' daughter, you're in the school play, and, you know, your dad comes to the play and scares the heck out of the whole audience, or kills them. And so that would be kind of embarrassing. I could see why she has some major daddy issues growing up. And now we're moving on to Yondu, and I gotta say, Yondu is a great character, a great villain. I love the fact he's played by Michael Rooker, one of my favorite movie actors. He's been in tons of movies, and what really stood out to me with his yellow teeth, so I really wanted to capitalize on the yellow teeth. And but Yondu's a blast to draw. He's an alien, which is killer, and he's always angry, very tough looking, and it's just a lot of fun to draw. And I included his really cool arrow weapon. I don't even know what it's called. There must be some cool name for it. It's got to have some name that I, of course, am not geeky enough to know. Hopefully some super geeks out there can tell me what it is. Please educate me on what Yondu's arrow is called, but this is Yondu. Okay, and last but not least is Mr. Chris Pratt himself, Peter Quill. Now this doesn't look like Chris Pratt very much, but if I were to do a Guardians cartoon, this is, you know, one example of what Peter Quill would look like. He's the hero, gotta give him a Chris Pratt hair color and sort of a wise guy look on his face. Very, you know, ready for action. I really like Star-Lord's costume. I thought it was a great costume, and for those of us nerds who want to cosplay this, probably a pretty easy costume to pull off. But again, the coat is pretty epic. I like the coat's epic. And the one thing you have to include when you draw Peter Quill as Star-Lord is the mask. And so here, I had to draw one of Star-Lord with his mask on. That to me is one of my all-time favorite comic movie character pieces of costuming is that mask. I love the mask. And it's pretty detailed too, and so it was a lot of fun to draw. And I just wanted to draw Star-Lord here in a really cool action pose. I think I was having too much fun with this video as I was drawing these characters, but I just love Chris Pratt's portrayal of this character. I think because of him and all the other actors, they really brought the movie to life, and it just was one of my favorite movies when it came out. Really looking forward to the sequel. And here he is, Peter Quill, Chris Pratt as Star-Lord in the Butch Hartman style. Alright gang, Guardians of the Galaxy as cartoon characters. Any other Marvel characters you want to see me draw? I don't know. Spider-Man Homecoming is coming out in July. Thor Ragnarok's coming out in November. Defenders on Netflix. Let me know in the comment section below. Okay, and since this week is kind of alien themed, I'm going to draw on the big whiteboard one of my favorite aliens suggested by Janet, Mark Chang from The Fairly Odd Parents. Here we go. Hey Heart fans, subscribe here to keep up with me, Danny, Timmy, Dudley, Bunsen, and the NOOG Network, my new app full of cartoons, shows, and games. Download it here. Click over here to watch my most recent video, and here to start a playlist related to this video. Whoa, check out that awesome fan art. To be featured here, use hashtag HeartFanArt and tag me. I'm on every social media platform known to man. Cartoon Butch out. Pencil drop.